You know what I'm thinking about? How would I leave a job that I hated to go do something that I think I would love? So for me, I used to be I used to work at Market Basket starting out. Then I got fired because I would steal Twinkies. So in the back during break, like a couple Twinkies, you know what I'm saying? Then I used to work at a flower shop, and I got fired because I delivered the wrong flowers to the wrong place. Then I used to work an auto body. I actually liked auto body because that's what I went to school for. And then one old guy that worked in auto body was coughing and wheezing. And he basically said, "Hey kid, you don't want to do this when you're my age." And for some reason, when he said that to me while we were out eating lunch, I was like, man, you know what? This guy might be right. I don't want to be breathing in all these chemicals. So I said I quit. Then I went to go be a barber. It was a God-given talent for me. My uncle used to do it. Pretty good at it. Then I went and got my cosmetology license. Did that for a long time because of the freedom, because of, the opportunities that you can have to work 3 days and then have a bunch of days off. Because most of the money in that industry is made closer to the weekend. You know what I mean? Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That for me was good. It was somewhat freedom, but you still had to go to work. You still had to show up, right? I still couldn't leave my working day to go do stuff that I needed to do with my kid or wanted to. So I got into real estate and I quit that job, took a chance, and it was extremely scary. But now looking back at it, probably been at least 10 years, 11 years since I ever, maybe even 12, since I ever worked for anyone other than myself. And I gotta say, I'm the type of person that I fucking love it. So if you're the type of person that you want to maybe do something different, this would be my advice. If you want to quit your job and still make money, let me just go through how kind of it went for me. And maybe you can decide if it's something that is for you. Number one is, it's always easier to get paid. If you can have a career where you go to work, a lot of these jobs pay a lot of money. You know what I mean? These big companies, Amazon, big hospitals. If you climb, being CEO of companies, if you climb the ranks in the modern world, you probably can get yourself to a pretty good income, okay? But you will have to go to work. You more than likely will have to answer to somebody and clock in and clock out. I hate that. That's not for me. I hated jobs. I always hated somebody telling me what to do, when to go. I always thought to myself, when my son has a game or something, I got to do something that I can show up because I'm a family man. I love that shit. I love being a parent. I want to be there. I don't want to have regrets. And sometimes that doesn't take money. Sometimes that takes you being willing to let go of the familiar and fail, right? You can't just cross from being an entrepreneur, from being like a working person to being an entrepreneur. You're not just going to make that leap, right? Because being an entrepreneur, I've had months and years where I haven't gotten paid for a long time. And then we got paid hefty. And then we didn't get paid. And then we got paid hefty. And then we got paid better. And then I never had to go to work again for anybody else. Then I bought some buildings. Then I bought another building. And I'm going to keep progressing in this direction. Then I started renovating properties. But I literally wake up and do whatever I want. This is what I think you should do. Maybe the career choice that you pick is good, you make some money, but you want freedom. Well, the thing is, if I stayed a barber or an auto body man, unless I owned the businesses, it probably would have been very hard for me to make the kind of money that I make being in real estate sales and being an investor, right? Like, it's just bigger opportunity, right? Which you could even make bigger money if you're into tech, right? And you know how to build these apps and things like that, okay? But you have to find something that actually will get you large chunks of money. I mean, like, come on. An hourly job is usually not going to do that unless you're like at the top, which takes time to earn some of those positions. So what I would do is, for me, that business was real estate sales. I've always been a renter since I came to the United States as a little kid with my family. I always been a renter, and then I always wanted to buy something. I saw these families that were here for so many generations, and me and their kids would be the same age, except they're inheriting a bunch of multi-family properties and businesses. And I just thought to myself, man, I want to get it, and I want to leave that type of stuff. So the next thing is, you have to make your goals much bigger than they are. You have to want to build a bigger legacy, because that's honestly going to push you forward a little bit and get you to the point where, like, you can accomplish bigger things. But you really, really have to believe and want, and on some level have that desire. Then you gotta have the cojones to go for it. Like, how hard do you think it was for me to quit my job as a barber? It was the scariest, hardest thing. As a matter of fact, nobody knows this, but I fell flat on my face. I was like, I'm never going back. I gotta make this real estate thing work. And then, 6 months, things are moving along. I'm getting the bills paid, but still don't own real estate. Still behind on the bills some months. And then, it was tough. You're not getting sales. So then what I did was, I drove Uber some nights. And then I said, fuck that. Would never do that again, because that was like work again. And it reminded me and motivated me of how hard entrepreneurship is, but how hard I'm willing to go to build the lifestyle that I want. Now, just one of my buildings pays me more than anything I would have ever made as a barber. I don't take that money. I keep it in the building, let it grow, right? Let it go up so I could do bigger things, because that's how money works. But just one of the buildings makes me more financially than anything I would have made as a barber, anything I would have made as an auto body technician, anything I would have made in so many other businesses. This allowed me to do it. The other thing you should consider is saving your money, and in all honesty, being good with saving, no matter what your income is, allows you bigger opportunities. But some people save and then they invest it in dumb shit, and they justify that dumb shit as a right investment. But it's usually not. Usually you are making the wrong decisions, because the more money you make, the crazier things people justify to themselves to spend. But it's like, you have to be smart about it, okay? For instance, when I pull equity from my house, unless the house is paid off, I wouldn't use that money to renovate usually. I would use extra cash that I earned. What I would do with that money instead is, I wouldn't use that money to pay my bills or buy a new car. What I would do with that money instead is, I would go and add more cash right? Because you do pay interest on the money you borrow from your house. But I would take that money, my equity in the house, I would add more cash, and I would go then and purchase for myself some sort of multi-unit, 4-family, 8 units, 2-family, 50 units, whatever you can get. Because if operated and managed, it can, and it doesn't even have to be big. Like a 4-unit building could pay you over time, stabilized, in 30 years would be paid off, and you would get a decent rental income. And if you really wanted to, you can pay some money and have a property management company take care of it. So it's almost like just there, and it's earning you money. Now that takes time to build. From the time I went from being a barber and all this other stuff to now talking to you, making videos about investing and how cool, there's a lot of failure. I mean, shit, man. There's a lot of failure, a lot of lonely, sad nights, a lot of opportunities, a lot of missed opportunities, a lot of bad situations. However, imagine if I never went for it. Imagine if you don't go for it. You might have this weird regret, like I should have went for it. But the only thing I will tell you is becoming an entrepreneur, like, hey, let's be honest. It is hard out there. Even now, the business was up, now it's down a little, but I'm still overall way up than I've ever been. But it's like the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. You're not just going somewhere, clocking in and clocking out. But then there's the beauty of it also. I'm also not clocking in and clocking out. Like right now, I'm driving, talking to the camera, right? To you, the people. And I'm on my way to one of my properties. That's my investment that I'm renovating, that I'm going to sell, and hopefully do what I'm supposed to do, which so far has been pretty good because I have so much experience, 16 years of experience of seeing people lose money, make money, and figuring out what I have to do. But the thing about it is, my schedule is my own. And this is what I'm trying to tell you. If you're the type of person that you want to quit and you want to go for it, sometimes you got to go for it. Even when I did it part-time, wasn't as good as when I went full-time. Because how can you swim if your feet are still touching the water, right? You have to go to the deep end and go for a swim. And if you go to the deep end and go for a swim, it's much scarier than knowing that you can touch bottom. You can touch bottom. Because a lot of times, entrepreneurship is just going for a swim. Like, sometimes you gotta tread water for a while, baby. This shit's not easy. Oh, man, it's not easy. But it is fun. It is extremely worth it. I have a good time with it. I have a lot of friends that have an incredible time being entrepreneurs, and it looks fun. Some people are better than others. Some people are worse. But overall, it's pretty good for most people. And I think that to get better in business, when you don't work for someone else and just work for yourself, like in the independent sales or whatever thing you do, it's pretty awesome because you can literally decide how you want your week, how you want your day to go, what you want to do, what events you want to go to, and how you want to show up for your family. And the most amazing thing about it all is being in the real estate business for me got me to reading books, going to seminars, becoming a better person, studying more, learning more. Because you cannot think that you're going to get ahead as an entrepreneur and not be forced to learn more, to be more, to become more, right? Because if you don't become more, whatever you get financially, you might lose, right? So you have to develop yourself as a person, because once you know more, it's like you can't unknow it. And now you have to do better, and you have to become better, and you have more responsibilities. But it's extremely fun. I love the business of real estate. So I hope this helps you figure out what you want to do with your life. At the same time, if you want to help me out, go ahead and leave a review on the Modern American Dream podcast. Go ahead and you can't pay me for my time at this point in my life, because you probably couldn't afford it. However, what you can do is, if you're looking to buy any real estate, or you know somebody that wants to buy real estate, or has an old house to sell that needs to be renovated, or a new building that may need to be built, maybe you could call me and we'll talk about it. We'll see what it is, because that's what I do. And I'll probably try to share as much information as possible about how to get ahead. Look, not all of us come from a successful family, but you can become the successful one. You can change the way your family functions, and you can become better. And if that means leaving your fucking job, or quitting whatever it is that you do that you don't like so you could go build something else, then go do that. The only thing that you should know 1000% is it's not going to be as easy as it seems when you think you're going to go for it, okay? Because life is just not always that simple. There's shit that has to happen. You have to earn things. So you can do it. You just have to earn it. Good luck.